Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod review. Today we have an excellent new weapon release, a nice surprise to wake up to for sure, and that's going to be the Capital Wasteland Minigun by Xanthier. This mod is going to add the classic Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas style of minigun into Fallout 4. So, it is still a minigun, but it looks identical to the old versions, which is a style that I really like. And this isn't some simple mesh replacer. No, this is going to be a complete remaster of the original, complete with custom animations, as that thing does have a different reload from Fallout 4's, as well as the backpack included, which is my favorite feature of this mod. Whenever you equipped a minigun in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, same goes for a lot of heavy weapons, you would have a backpack for the ammo for that weapon, and the same is true with this mod. A small note with that backpack that I really appreciate too is that it stays even if you are in power armor or if a super mutant is holding this weapon, it all works. Additionally, like I said, there are custom animations for this weapon. Those custom animations are true for everything. Third person, power armor, super mutants, everybody got a suite of custom animations so that this weapon works flawlessly in their hands, which is just awesome. The amount of effort that went into this mod is absolutely incredible. Not to mention, the mod itself looks amazing, and you get even more attachments for this minigun than you do in the vanilla Fallout 4 minigun. You actually get all of the regular attachments that you'd expect, like tri-barrels and accelerated barrels, all that cool stuff, as well as a bunch of faction skins and a couple of other attachments to help boost the damage a little bit. Now, as for obtaining this weapon, there's actually two different versions of this mod, so you're going to pick which file you want on the Nexus, one of which is going to be a standalone version, so this thing will spawn alongside vanilla miniguns, so anywhere you have a chance to see a vanilla one, you may have a chance of seeing this one instead. It could be one or the other. Alternatively, you could download the replacer version, which is going to completely replace the vanilla minigun, which honestly is going to be the one that I choose. This is still a very lore-friendly version of the minigun, and I'd much rather see this thing than the vanilla Fallout 4 one, as the vanilla one's just kinda lacking. Not to mention, this one brings everything that that one had to the table and more. So there's no reason not to choose the replacer, but it's really up to you. On top of the minigun itself, though, there are actually two uniques that can be found in this mod, one of which is going to be the CZ75 Avenger, and the other is Eugene from Fallout 3. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys where to find those right now, but in case you don't want to know for whatever reason, quick spoiler warning for the locations of these weapons in case you want to find them on your own. Alright, that out of the way, they're not really too hard to find. If you want to get Eugene, you just purchase it from Arturo in Diamond City, and if you want to get the CZ75 Avenger, you purchase it from Cricket, the roaming trader. That's it. Real simple stuff. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and take this thing in-game, check out its stats, and see some of the really cool stuff this weapon has to offer. Alright, so here we are in-game with the minigun. And as you can see, the stats are pretty much the same as the vanilla Fallout 4 minigun, which is great, because if you're going to use this thing as a replacer, you don't want it to throw away the balance of the base game. It has a base damage of 8, uses 5mm rounds, has a fire rate of 272, because of course it does, it's a minigun, has a range of 131, an accuracy of only 45, a weight of a whopping 26.5 pounds, and a value of 442 caps. And just look at this thing, it looks amazing. When you're in the viewing port here, you can even see the backpack that will go on your back when you use this thing. And one of the main reasons that this thing needed custom animations is because the grips are in totally different places than the vanilla Fallout 4 minigun, and it even has that nice little ammo box on the bottom here, which actually has a proper reload. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and show that off now, and check out those cool custom animations. So this thing does have a full suite of custom animations, including equipping, your sprinting, and of course the most important, firing and reloading. Let's check it out. And it looks great, just like the original. You also get a custom melee bash, and even those custom animations in third person. I gotta say, this thing looks great. You can even see the backpack on there. And now that these animations exist, if Xanthier is willing to let people use them, you could even have some really cool new modded weapons like the Cyber Dog gun. So I can't wait to see what comes out of this mod. Now, let's go ahead and check this thing out at the weapons workbench and see what kind of cool attachments you can add with this mod. Starting with the barrels, we have the same stuff that we had for the vanilla. We have the standard barrel, accelerated barrel, and the tri-barrel. The tri-barrel giving you higher damage for a slower fire rate, and the accelerated barrel giving you faster fire rate, but worse range and accuracy. For sights, we have the standard sight and the gunner sight, which is going to be a tiny little sight right there. Not sure how you actually get your face down there to use that thing, but it's there if you want it. You do have the option to add the shredder muzzle just like before, and then we also have some new categories that the vanilla minigun did not have. For example, we can add on a damped subframe, which is going to reduce spread and recoil but increase the weight. We have the high-speed motor, which is going to increase your fire rate but also increase the weapon spread and weight. And then we have a bunch of paint jobs. The standard paint job, Brotherhood of Steel, Institute, Minutemen, and the Railroad. So, pretty cool stuff at the weapons workbench here. Alright, and then of course it is time for the damage test for this weapon. Now, as you saw on the weapons workbench, there wasn't a whole lot we could do to really increase the damage of this thing. So, what we're going to do is test out the regular version of the minigun, and then we'll be testing out the two uniques, the CZ75 and the Eugene, because those things do have significantly increased damage. So, for starters, we'll check out the regular minigun, keeping in mind my character has no perks, so these are the raw stats of the weapon. Aiming for the Deathclaw's weak point, let's see what we can do. Alright, not terrible. Using about 112 shots, we take down a Deathclaw. It's a good bit, but that's kind of what 5mm is for, at least in Fallout 4. Let's see what we can do with something like the CZ75. Now, we didn't really go over the effects of this weapon earlier. This thing has an increased damage and fire rate at the cost of a very much reduced magazine size. Instead of 500 rounds, you get something like 120. So let's see if this thing can do any better. And it definitely can. That thing went down super fast, but in the blink of an eye, we spent 40 bullets, if you could believe it. Pretty crazy, but if you're looking for time to kill, this thing is a very good contender. Now let's check out the final option, which is Eugene. And if we take a look at the effects of that one, we just have a significantly increased damage, but nothing else seems to be different, taking us from a base damage of the regular minigun of 8 to a whopping 22. So this thing's going to be packing quite a punch. Let's see how it does against this Deathclaw, if it's any better than that CZ75. And I would say so. We took down that Deathclaw pretty fast and with less bullets. Good stuff. So yeah guys, that is the Capital Wasteland minigun, and this thing is awesome. I absolutely stayed away from the minigun in vanilla Fallout 4 because it was honestly kind of garbage. But this new one is really cool, and the uniques make it a very viable option, not to mention there's a lot more customizability in this mod. And if you increase your damage with the Heavy Gunner perk, these things are only gonna get better. So these could actually serve as a proper late game weapon, unlike the vanilla Fallout 4 minigun. So, definitely one that is worth picking up, especially if you're trying to collect all those classic Fallout weapon mods. This thing is awesome. I love the custom animations. This is overall top-notch work. Excellent mod, and I highly recommend you go check this one out yourself. If you want to, it'll be linked down in the description below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a rating, subscribe if you haven't already for more videos just like this, and as always, big shout out to all of my patrons. You guys make videos like this possible. You guys are amazing. If you're at all interested in my Patreon, you get special Discord roles, early access to my mods, and a couple of other neat bonuses. You can go check it out, but it is completely optional. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace!